Hello and welcome back to Gapey's Garden. The greenhouse looks a lot different from the last time you've seen it. I've got all of the peppers in the ground, thankfully. Let's show you what we've got here. So on this side is all the annuum and baccatum varieties. This one here is the Aleppo, and we've got, I don't think we have an, oh yeah, actually we do have a pod in there. So if you can see that, got a pod right there. And a few other flowers starting to come up. And then here we have the Peppa Peach. And this one, for some reason, the lower leaves are a little bit yellow. I don't know if it got some sunburn or what, but none of the other peppers had that problem. We've got some pods that are just about to set. I don't think we have any quite yet, but there's quite a bit of flowers on that pepper. And then back here we have the apple crisp. And we've got a little bit of a hole there on that leaf. And it's doing pretty good. I'm not seeing any flowers. Oh, there's a flower bud on there, but definitely no peppers set on that one yet. And then the Shishito, this one is just loaded with pods. So we've got all kinds of pods set on this one. This is probably the most productive so far, which is, it's pretty early in the season. And I mentioned in the previous video that I didn't remove the flowers on these before I put them in the ground, which is something I normally do. So we're seeing a lot more pods this early in the season. And then this one here is a sweet banana pepper. And this one I actually got from a friend. I tried to grow this one from seed, but I think my seed was bad because I tried a few different times and I didn't have any germination. So she gave me this one and I gave her, I can't remember what I gave her in exchange, but I gave her something that I grew that she was interested in. And then this one here is the Violet Sparkle, and we've got 2 pods set on that one. Let's come around this side. So these have grown a lot since I just put these in the ground last week, I think it was. And then back here is the Black Orchid Cafe, which is a Thai variety, and look, we've got a pod, little tiny pod set there. So that one is looking really good. The flowers on this one are actually really neat. I don't know if you could see that, but they're white and the very edges of the flower are purple. And then over here we've got the orange ripple, and I don't think we've got any pods set on that one, but it's looking really good and it should be pretty close to setting a pod. And then back here we've got the Bulldog Paprika, and I'm not seeing any pods set. That one back there looks like it might turn into a pod, but we'll see. But it looks like that one's looking really good too. And then here we have the Monkey Face Red. They come in a couple different colors, I think, but this is the red one, and I'm not seeing any pods on that one, but it's looking really nice as well. And then back here we've got the, so I have a couple different Korean gochu varieties this year. This one is called the, let's see, Cheongyang, and it's got, actually there's a pretty big pod there in the back that's set on that one, but there's a couple of little pods in there as well. And then the other one is the Lady Choi, and that one actually is looking, there's a lot of pods on this one and they're all pretty good size. Look at how big that one is already. We've got, what, 4 pretty good sized pods already on that one. And then the last one on this side here is the Mira Polish White, and I believe that's a sweet pepper. So I haven't grown any, let's see, I've grown the Shishito before, but other than that, that's the only one I've grown before. So these are all new varieties to me, so they'll be interesting to see how they do. Now I don't have any of these staked yet, so if you've grown any of these varieties and you know that they get really tall and might need to be staked, just let me know so I can get that done earlier than later. And then on this side is the chinense varieties. So I planted these about a week earlier than the ones on the other side of the greenhouse. So here is the datil, and I had a lot of problems with the roly-poly bugs in here. So you might see on some of these I've got a lot of holes in the leaves, and that's because of the roly-polies. So what I did is I put some Sluggo Plus down on there and on the ground, and I think that's helping a little bit. And I'm also noticing some of the newer leaves are kind of wrinkly, and it's only happening on the peppers on this side of the greenhouse. So I'm not sure if it has to do with the roly-polies or something else, but I'm seeing that a lot on these peppers over on this side. And then here we have the white ghost. Now the roly-polies really like the white ghost. You can see holes all over in the leaves here. And I think it's gotten better since I put the Sluggo down, but there's still a lot of damage on some of those leaves. Now the roly-polies seem to leave these purple leaf varieties alone. I haven't noticed any damage at all, not even any wrinkly leaves on the tops like the other ones. This one here is the Pink Tiger and Peach Boot Cross. So it's looking, I don't see any flowers. I don't really see any flowers on most of the chinense varieties yet. So they do tend to take a little bit longer than the other varieties. So hopefully we'll get some soon. And then here is the giant habanero, which also has a lot of holes in the leaves. And this one, the new leaves are looking really terrible on this one. This is probably the worst looking one out of all of them. So I'm not sure if you think that the roly-polies are doing that damage, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not sure what to do about that. And then here is another purple one that I have that has no damage at all that I could see. And this one here is the Tennessee Blackout. I'm not seeing any flowers yet, but the leaves look really nice. No problems at all on that one. And then here we have the Peach Starkist, which is a Kangstar variety. And I'm not seeing any holes in this one, but the new leaves are a little bit wrinkly. And it's got a few flowers that are just coming out on there as well. And then the other Kangstar cross I'm growing is the Scarlet Rose, which is a very similar, it's the same cross, just a different color. And again, we've got the kind of weird wrinkly leaves on the top. And then the last one on this side is the bubblegum crossed with the Tabasco. So this is going to be my Pepper Lovers contest pepper. And we've got a little ladybug on this one. So I did get some ladybugs it's probably been about 3 or 4 weeks ago that I released in here, and most of them have taken off, but they did eat quite a few ladybugs before I got the peppers in. So I'm not seeing too many aphids in here. So I think they did a pretty good job, but if I start seeing more, I'm gonna get some more. And then we've got up here, these are the only peppers I'm not putting in the ground. They're gonna stay in containers, but I do need to get them repotted into bigger containers. These are the wild South American varieties. So this one here, both of these two are the Flexuosum, and they seem to like to grow a lot wider than the other two wild peppers I'm growing, and they were the first ones to get flowers. Both of these are just loaded with flowers, but I'm not seeing any pods setting just yet, so I think they are ready to get transplanted. So that's on my to-do list. And then we have the Cardinacea here, and these ones are growing really tall. Let's see if you can see how tall those are getting, and I did top those once already, and the side shoots that came out of that are just getting really, really tall as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to top those again or not. I'm just going to, I think, let it go for now. And I'm going to get those repotted as well. And then lastly, we have the Tovari, which is a lot bushier of a plant than the other two varieties, but I've got 2 of each of these varieties that I'm growing because they do tend to do better when they have cross-pollination. So I decided to grow 2 of each, but they're looking really good. I think these ones look probably the best. I'm not seeing any flowers on these yet though, on either the Cardinacea or the Tovari. So hopefully we'll see some soon. Oh, and then we've got our pepper in a cans. So I do have the cans in a cup just so they don't fall over. Because I think if I just leave them leave them out that way, they might fall over a lot easier. So I just like to put them in the cup there. But we've got this one is the Onyx Twilight, and we do have some pods set on there. And this pod was actually covered in aphids yesterday, so I got those all wiped off, and hopefully it didn't do too much damage. So I need to keep an eye on that one, because the aphids really seem to like that pepper for some reason. And then next we have the Aki Chara Pizza, and we've got a lot of flowers on the top there, but I'm not seeing any pods set on that one yet. And then lastly, we have this Onyx Pepper. And it looks like we are starting to see the first, ooh, that's a really dark color. I don't know if you could see that, but there is a flower there on the top of that one. No pod set on it though. And those are all the peppers so far that I've got in the greenhouse, and I've also got some planted outside, so I'll go ahead and show you those too. So here we are in one of the raised beds. These are next to my garlic here, and I've also got some tomatillos and a ground cherry here as well. But these are the more New Mexican or Mexican variety peppers. This one here is the Estacino, and we do have a couple of pods set on that one, there and there. And then here we've got the Española, and I think we've got a pod set. Yep. There's a little pod there, and oh, actually there's a really big pod here. So this was, I think, the first pepper to set pods, and these were the first peppers I put in the ground. So these have been in the ground maybe 3 weeks now. And then this one here is the Cajun Belle, and this was another one that was one of the first to set a pod. And it's got one pod that looks really nice, and then we've got another little one right there. And then behind that is the Jalapeno Orange Spice, and I'm not seeing, this one's not really doing too much. I think there might be 1 or 2 flowers in the back there, but no pods set on that one yet. And then in the middle here we've got, this one is a Pasilla, and we've got some flowers that look like they're about to drop the petals, so we might see some pods on those pretty soon. And then we have one more back here. This one is the Chimayo, and this one is kind of sprawling out to the side, so I might end up having to stake that one, but we've got a few little tiny pods on here. And I forgot to mention, I do have this one in a little tomato cage, because it was kind of doing the floppy thing. So that's the Española. So I've got a cage around that one, so that's kind of helping it stay upright. And then I've got some more peppers. I actually I did a cross last year of a lemon drop and a gochu pepper, and I've got those over here. So this one here, I saved the seeds from the lemon drop pepper that I crossed with the gochu, and I'm not seeing any flowers on that one yet, but I have these kind of separate from the other ones just to help avoid any cross-pollination. And then I also did the reverse cross. So this one is from seeds I saved from the gochu pepper and that I crossed with the lemon drop. So it'll be interesting to see how these do. I think there might be just starting to get some flowers forming on the very top. So I think these might be a little bit later to develop, but we're gonna keep an eye on those, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna look like. And finally, we have one more variety back here, and this is the one I'm actually looking most forward to this year, and this is the mini olive ricotta. So I've got a cage around these because ricotta peppers tend to get really big, but I don't know, I may have gone a little bit overboard on the size of this cage, so I might do a smaller cage. But you can see, look at the peppers on, or the flowers on these. They're a really dark purple, really a neat looking pepper. But I've noticed I have 2 of these in this bed, and they're both growing really, really wide. So that's kind of a weird weird growth habit it seems to have. And the other one is back here. And I have these in a bed with some lettuce, and the lettuce is about ready to harvest. So I'll get these out of the way here in the next week or so. But let's get a closer look at the peppers here, or the flowers. So we got some nice, and look at, there's some, looks like some slug or roly-poly damage on here, so I might have to put some sluggo down on here too. But I'm really liking the flowers on this one. So that, I think, is all of the peppers I'm growing this year. That is, I think, 34 different varieties, which is the most I've ever grown in one season. So it's gonna keep me busy. Thanks for watching, and I'll give you another update next month. Talk to you soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.